All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Erin. I am your instructor this semester for Math 120, Math with Healthcare Applications. Obviously, I started the conversation by saying, excuse me while I finish my lunch. And you're probably like, Erin, it's 9:30. And why are you eating lunch? Because I do not live in Montana. I live in East Tennessee, which means it's 11:30 for me. So I live on the other side of this country, in the Eastern time zone, but I used to live in Montana. We moved here about, oh gosh, now we're almost at 10 months ago. And I used to obviously work on campus and at FECC, but over the course of the last 7 years that I've been teaching there as full-time faculty, I've moved around a lot, unfortunately, which means that I have been teaching remotely for like the last 3-4 years because I was doing it before the pandemic even started. So long story short, this is my office in my house. The beauty of the internet, right? We can be wherever and whatnot. So I will try to always have lunch done before we meet, because there's nothing ruder than somebody just like shoving food in their face while on camera. But I always warn all my students, I am a type 1 diabetic, so there are occasions when I can't avoid it. So I'll do my best to make sure that it's not an issue, but right, we all have stuff, right? So today is going to be kind of a short class. I kind of touched on this in the email that I sent out, but the way that this class is structured, it's referred to as a high flex class because there's students who are enrolled in it who are on the Kalispell campus. There's students who are enrolled in it who are like on the Libby campus, who are both of those are trying to take it via remote delivery like this. And then there's also students who are enrolled to take it online. Right. So it's kind of like this crazy group. And the reason we do it that way is because we want to make sure that we can offer learning environments that work for as many people as possible without having too few students and having like the possibility of a class getting canceled. Right. So that's kind of why we're all grouped together. And so what that means is that I am kind of flexible in my attendance in terms of if you're scheduled to enrolled only to attend the video sessions and you have something come up, I totally understand if you're not able to come to lecture. So obviously the goal is to attend most of the lectures, right? But life happens, right? So the question is, how do you get attendance points, whether you are attending the lecture or not attending the lecture? And so every Tuesday and Thursday, I will lecture, obviously, and I will record the lecture. Now, whether you attend or not, there will be note pages that you need to complete as they're the structure of my lecture, okay? I'm going to show you in a minute where those are. And so you will take your notes and then you will scan and upload them, whether you are attending the actual live lecture or if you're doing all your work online and not attending lecture. Everybody does it, right? And so that's how we're going to sort of track attendance in terms of everybody getting participation points and it being equal. And then also that way you can go back and watch lectures, right? If you didn't understand something that I went over. So yeah, what questions so far? I kind of threw a lot at you. Nothing yet? Okay.
I was kind of oh, sorry.
No,
I was wondering if we have like a book for the class.
Yes, so there is a textbook, and you will want to pick this up because some of our homework assignments are going to be from the textbook because of the medical aspect. There's I just can't replicate like there's drug labels and things like that we're going to use that we need from this textbook. And so you're going to do some assignments, homework assignments from this. You're going to do some homework assignments that are more just like our practice normal problems on Eagle Online. And so, but you will need the textbook as well. And you'll also want this just to be able to read to help inform you. So this is the textbook. I don't know if it's flipped, probably flipped from what you guys can read. So it's Math Skills for Allied Health Careers. And if you ordered it, it's not a big issue. It's coming, I'm sure it'll come soon. But the first couple sections that we do are all review. So I think you should be fine. And you won't be doing homework out of the textbook until we get to like chapter 3, I think. And so that's already past the first exam. So yeah, we won't worry about it. We won't get nervous about it unless it doesn't show up until like the middle of February. And that's when we're going to kind of be, uh-oh, we need this, right? And worst case scenario, I can always like scan and upload like the pages that you would need to be able to do the homework. So it should be okay. I don't find that students rely on it too heavily, but like I said, there are specific sections that we deal with the medical, like dosaging and stuff like that, where you really do need it, because I can't pull those, what am I trying to say, the medication labels, like all of those kind of images and stuff, I can't pull those from anywhere else. So we have to have it for that section. So good question. Any other questions? So I'm really happy to see everybody using the chat function already. That is something that I use a lot throughout my lecture. That's a great way to send me questions. And then as I'm lecturing, I will ask you to solve problems. And you have the ability to send a message to everybody in the chat feature, or you also have the choice of sending it directly to me, which is what I'm going to normally have you do when I say, hey, solve this, and then send me your answer. That way, again, it's a safe space. Nobody's going to be seeing what your answer is. I can then send you a direct message back and say, hey, we're off, you're off a little bit here. This is what I think you probably made the mistake with. So again, if you're wondering how do you send that direct message in chat, if you kind of take your cursor and you go to the bottom of your Zoom window, you're going to see a chat. It says chat, and it's like a little speech bubble, and you click on that. And you should be able to then, when you click on it, it's going to show up meeting chat on the right hand side probably. And then in the to section under the drop down, you should have my name listed there as the person you can send a message to. So either everyone or me, I believe, are those two options. And so that's how you can send me a direct message. And then, like I said, obviously throughout the lecture, I will use that a lot. So great use of it already. We'll continue to use it. And obviously you can also feel free to ask questions out, unmute yourself. I'm not concerned about being interrupted or anything. This is a group environment, right? We have to learn together. All right, so I'm going to launch into our course shell to sort of see where everything is in there that you want to use for lectures, okay? All right, so this is our home page. I will be adding weekly announcements, so I wouldn't count on this Zoom link being here every single time. I will show you where you can find it though as well. Obviously for today and tomorrow, as we just have the welcome message up, there's the Zoom link for our lecture. On the right-hand side, you'll see that I've got my office hours listed. These did change slightly from what's listed in the syllabus that I sent out last week. And then below, we've got a calendar. We have this in here. I do find if you rely on it too heavily, you might miss something. But this does kind of give you an idea of when things are coming and when they're due. I did send out a link to the schedule. That's the thing you're going to want to use the most in terms of anticipating when your homework assignments are due. And then this down below here, this Google Workspace, when you log in and look at this, if you have not linked your school Gmail account with Eagle Online yet, it'll have a suggestion of link or something like that. I can't show you obviously what it's going to look like for you because I've already done it and I can't undo it to make it pop up. But you will be scanning and uploading your written work, and that's really helpful to have your school Gmail account linked to Eagle Online, because that means your school Gmail Drive is linked, your Google Drive is linked, and you'll be able to download or upload, documents directly from Google Drive. And so if you have a chance to link those together, it will be really helpful. All right, so let's go to the content. So the first thing we can see here, we've got the Zoom links right at the very top. Here is again our link to the live class. That's where you'll want to go in order to access the class all the time. I also have a Zoom link to my individual office hours. So you'll notice I've got 2 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, and 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday. These are Montana times. These are not East Coast times. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, 9 in the morning. That's too early for us, Erin. No, that's 9 your time, not 9 my time. And so then first week, so I had given you the suggestion of read the syllabus, review the teaching and due date schedule. So if we look at that, I just want to give you an idea of how to interpret this. Because again, we have so many students in this class taking this class differently from each other, the schedule might look a little cluttered, but it's to give everybody an idea of when I'm going to cover something and then when it's due. So today is just the first day of class. I'm going through all the business. On Thursday, sections 1.1 through 1.1, 1.2, and 1.4, we're not covering 1.3. They're all kind of review material, so that's why I'm going to cover them all at once on Thursday. And then you'll notice the notes for 1.1 through 1.4 are due Friday, and that's to give everybody a chance to complete them. It gives everybody a chance to watch the lecture after the fact. And then Tuesday, I'm going to teach 2.1 and 2.2. And then you'll notice on Wednesday, we've got the notes for 2.1, 2.2 due and the homework for 1.1 through 1.4 due. So it's kind of breaking out when everything's going to be. You're going to have a little longer time to do the homework than you will to do the notes. But there will be times when you'll feel like the homework is maybe pushed up kind of close. Like here, you'll see the notes are due on Wednesday for 2.1, 2.2, and the homework is due Thursday. And the reason for that is that we cover a lot in this class. And so I don't want you to get too far behind. And so I do have it very structured and when things are due to help keep you to a structured schedule. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When is the homework usually due? Like what time? For the
Everything is due at 11:59 p.m. Montana time.
Okay.
So just before midnight on the date that it's due. So on Wednesday the 25th, those notes are going to be due at 11:59 p.m. The homework is going to be due at 11:59 p.m. as well. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about homework later. We're going to talk now about the rest of the things you need to do this week and then also where you're going to find the notes. So if we go back to the first week activities, as I said, linking your Eagle Online and Google Apps, your school Gmail account is going to be really helpful. There's instructions on how to do that here. I would like you to contribute to the introduction discussion because again, we're all out in 4 corners of the world, right? And so we're all in a class together. I would like to get to know you. I'd like you to get to know each other. So again, just take a few minutes to introduce yourself, talk about your major or area of academic interest, maybe some hobbies you have, and then if you have any questions about the course. As I said before, you are going to be scanning and uploading your written work. So here's the link for how to submit assignments in Eagle Online. And then another thing is because you are going to be scanning, you are going to need to have a smart device. If you do not have a smart device, that's okay. There is access there. Oh my goodness. You have access to a scanner on either the Kalispell campus and on the Libby campus. I know the Libby campus, you can just go straight to the front desk. The Kalispell campus, I think you can go to the library and find access to a scanner there. But if you have a smartphone, if you have a tablet, anything that takes pictures and has the ability to connect to the internet, Adobe Scan is a free scanning app that you can download that's really easy to use. And the nice thing about it is that it will convert all your work to PDFs, which is how I need it submitted because that's what's easy for me to grade. Because when you submit like your quizzes and tests, I will write directly on the document and then it will save to give you feedback. And so PDFs are the easiest format for me to do that in. And so I have 2 videos in here. One's for using Adobe Scan on Android and one's for using Adobe Scan on like an iPad, iPhone. These are Apple products. Basically, Android is anything that's not an Apple product. Those are sort of the 2 ways. Again, if you have like a Kindle Fire, even you can use Adobe Scan as long as it has a camera on it and it has the ability to download apps. you can use those devices as well. So if you have a scanning app you've already used from a different brand or whatever, that's fine. I'm just giving you the option of, I don't want you to buy anything, is what I'm trying to say. So there is options that are free. Okay. If you look on the left-hand side here, you'll see that our work right now is broken up into the chapters. And then you'll notice at the bottom, past Zoom lectures, that's where I'm going to upload copy or links to videos of these lectures. So after I finish the lecture, Zoom is recording it for us. It then sends me the file and I have to upload it to YouTube, which is a very convoluted process. And then once it's on YouTube, I can get a link that I can then embed in Eagle Online. So the copy of the lecture for you to be able to watch it after the fact is going to probably be about 3 to 4 hours after the lecture finishes. So I don't want you to think that, oh, the lecture's done, I can immediately go and rewatch it. It's going to be a little delay between when the lecture is done and when I get it uploaded for you to be able to review it. But you'll be able to find that here under this past Zoom lectures. That's where those will be, okay? And then the way you'll notice it is that they will be in reverse chronological order, meaning the most recent lecture is the one that's going to show up at the top. So if you were looking for a specific lecture later in the semester, you may have to scroll down to get back to that lecture. And the way that I will label the lectures is I'll say the date that it was recorded on, and then the sections that I covered, like the content sections. So you should be able to go through and find those pretty easily if you want to review it after the fact. So as I said, we're going to start chapter 1 on Thursday. So if we go into chapter 1, I've got some instructions for you. I say read pages 1 through 25 in your textbook, complete the note pages. And these instructions are more for like, if you weren't going to attend lecture at all, right? Complete the note pages for section 1 through 1.4 and watch the instructional videos as needed, and then complete and upload your written work for the homework assignments 1.1, 1.2, and 1.4. So first of all, these note pages are what I'm going to lecture from, and you can print out if you want and write on them. If you don't have access to a printer, you can just record your work on a piece of paper. So give you an idea of what those note pages are going to look like. We've got some instruction. I'm going to have example problems that I do. And it's going to be broken up into the different content areas that I cover. Okay. So again, this is literally what I'm going to lecture from. I have a tablet that I pull this up. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see me writing it down. You're going to hear me talking about it. So again, if you want to have these to write on yourself, these are here for you to print out. If you don't have access to a printer, then my expectation is that you are copying the problems to then solve them, and that's what you're uploading. I don't expect you to copy all of this information here. The part that you're submitting is all the example problems, okay? But these are obviously there for you to go back to later. So questions about the note pages, what I'm expecting from you. So after lecture or after you complete your note pages, however you're going to complete them, like I said, you're gonna have to scan and upload them. So at the bottom here, you're gonna see that I have a assignment folder, and this is where you're gonna be scanning and uploading those. Using that Adobe Scan, again, the reason why that's really helpful is that you can directly from Adobe Scan upload the document to Google Drive. And then when you click on this, it's going to tell you to upload. So we're going to click this, and then for me, it comes directly into my computer. If you wanted to upload using Google Drive, you would choose existing, and then you would click Google Drive, and then it's going to ask to add a file. No, it's going to come up with my whole Google Drive, which I have a lot of information and stuff in there. So I'm not going to let it like just come up because it, has student names and things like that. But that's how you would be able to grab files from your Google Drive and upload them directly in. Okay. If you're going through this and you get confused, just email me. I'll be happy to walk you through it again. Okay. So you'll be scanning and uploading a copy of your notes. If you choose not to wait to watch the lecture video to complete these notes, that's fine. I also have instructional videos in here. Some of these I've created, some of them I've pulled from other sources. And so oftentimes the video ones are ones that are me, and the links are ones that I've pulled from other people, but they're all going to be really useful, okay? And these are just broken out into the topics that I cover in 1.1 through 1.4 to help you complete those note pages. Again, if you're attending lecture, I'm going to go through almost everything. So you're not really going to need to use these, but when you're going and doing your homework, if you want to spot review something, these links will be helpful for that as well. And then the last question is the homework, right? So you'll notice that we've got 1-1, 1-2, 1-4. These are all digital homework assignments. So if we click on 1-1, excuse me. So it says complete the attached homework assignment and upload a copy of your written work. So the reason why I ask you to upload a copy of your written work is because if there is a problem that you get graded wrong on, and you're saying, Erin, I swear I did this right. I want to be able to look at your work so that I can go back into the digital program and fix the answer or fix the points on the problem or whatever. So that's why I ask that you write your written work down for your homeworks and upload them. So if we click on this, it's going to take us to the assignment. I know it says quiz. I don't want you to get freaked out. They're not actually quizzes. It's just the way that I can build digital homework in Eagle Online. And the only way we can do that is using the quiz function, but it's not timed. You can see here, time allowed is unlimited. So I don't want you to think, oh God, this is a quiz and it's even more like it's higher pressure. That's not how it is at all. Okay. And then you're allowed, you can see here where it says attempts allowed. I allow 3 attempts on the assignment. What you're going to do is you're going to complete the assignment. When you go on to do your next attempt, it's only going to pull up any problems you got wrong. So it'll allow you to do that 2 times after the first time. And so if you go through and you complete it and you go and start to do the second one, and there's ones that are like, I just don't understand why I'm getting this wrong, send me an email. We'll talk about it. I don't want you to go through all 3 attempts of everything and then still not be able to solve the problems, right? So always do one time first and then look at the ones you got wrong. If there's ones that you just don't even understand how you could have gotten it wrong, email me, we'll talk about it and we'll work on it, okay? So let's see, going back, I'm not going to start the quiz or else then it's going to ask me to do it. Let's see. So that's all. So that's all chapter 1. Like I said, and then we have homework 1-1, 1-2, and 1-4. Those are all due January 25th. Again, you can see here where the due dates are. And then we would go into chapter 2. And then once it's time for a quiz, those are going to show up in here too, actual quizzes. Those are going to be on physical paper in terms of like, it's not going to be a digital assignment. You will then just write it out. I'll upload, like with the note pages, I'll upload a quiz document. You'll write out your written work and you'll submit that. Okay. But when we get closer to the first quiz, which isn't due until January 31st, I'll touch on all that again, because again, we've already gone through a lot of information. So before I leave here, any questions for me in our Eagle Online world?
So are all the quizzes online? You don't have to go to campus to do them?
All your quizzes and tests you will take from home. You do not need to go to campus to do any of the quizzes or tests. You can go to campus and receive help, like tutoring help. And so for those of you who maybe took another class before this, a foundational course, you may have gone to the foundational math center to receive help. This course, the tutoring center, is the Math and Science Tutoring Center, which is over in the LRC. It's a different building on campus. And that's where you can go to receive help. And I don't think I'll add in here. I apologize, I didn't have it added in. There's a widget there's a link that'll be in here that will take you to the Math and Science Tutoring Center page. And for those of you who aren't able to come to campus, you can receive digital tutoring, Zoom like tutoring from the people who are in the Math and Science Tutoring Center. So there'll be a link to that. And then obviously my office hours are a great way to get help if you have questions as well. So yeah, you don't have to go to campus unless you want to, then you're more than welcome to. More questions?
Not necessarily a question, but more of just kind of like a summary of what you said. So it's stuck in my brain and I understand it.
Mhm.
So after this, we go into the notes and we do the examples.
Mhm.
And then we scan them in for you to review and everything.
Mhm.
And then we do the homework, but
Mhm.
for chapter 1, that's more of like the quiz thing where you press the button and
Mhm.
then you do the problems
Yes.
that it says. Do you write down the problems and then you write the answer and then we scan that to you too?
Yes. So the reason why I suggest doing that is like I'm not going to mark you wrong for not writing out your homework solutions and scanning them to me, but
Right.
it's so that I can check what you're doing. Like I can look at your work and say, oh, I understand the issue that Sophie's having with this problem based upon the work that's shown. Because
Right.
you could email and be like, I don't know why I'm getting this wrong. And then I can go in and actually look at your written work and say, oh, well, the computer's making an error, which is, to be honest with you, it's a definite possibility. Okay. More than definite. It happens, right? Computers are dumb. So that's again what allows me to see what you think is going, like what you're trying to do versus what the computer thinks it should be happening. I've tried to eliminate as many of those issues with like, you rounded to a certain number of decimal place and it thought you should round something different, all of those kind of frustrating issues. But again, so yeah, like you were saying, if you want to think about what your workflow would be for this class, you would either attend lecture and complete the note pages or watch the videos and complete the note pages. And then you'd scan and upload the note pages. Then you would go and do your homework assignment. As you're doing your homework assignment, you want to record your written work. Once you're done doing your homework assignment, you'll scan and upload the written work as well for that. And then there's separate folders as you saw for each of those things. So and you shouldn't have to, you can access all the assignment folders at once from the assignment tab, but I don't suggest doing that because it's a huge list. And so I have everything already embedded in the content. So as you're going through it, you're going to find the links to all of those. So I would just use those links instead of trying to go back in and look at the assignment list. Because other instructors use it that way. I just think that for however many things that we're going to submit, it can be really hard to try to find them that way. So again, just looking in your content is going to be the easiest place to find those. Other questions?
I also noticed that there's like a review and the due dates. What does the
Uh-huh.
review consist of? Is there like written problems that we have to do to do the review?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. So like for the exams, I have them hidden right now because the exam isn't coming. But yeah, if you look at my teaching schedule, like on February 7th, I said I'm going to teach the review for test 1, right? Well, there will be a review assignment, but it's not going to be required. And so what I tell students is I suggest completing the review assignment before I do the review session, so that if you have questions from the review assignment, then you can ask those during a review session for the exam. But yeah, the exam reviews are not a required assignment. You're more than welcome to do them, but you don't have to do them. What else? The first day is always so much information. And I feel, I don't know about you, but I always feel like I get like a third of it. And then, so don't feel bad emailing me and be like, I'm sure you talked about this, but can you reiterate what I need to do? Because it's a lot, right? Plus, as we get into the flow of the class, I will remind you of what you need to do, like the steps, and it'll become second nature, I promise. So on day one, it feels like a lot, but as time goes on, it's not bad. All right. That's all I have. I mean, today was just, let's get to know each other. Let's talk about how we go through the class, what we need to do. Thursday is when I will start teaching. If you want to prep for Thursday, feel free to look through that chapter 1 stuff already. You can look through those notes, the note pages. You can look through those videos. If you want to prepare for lecture on Thursday, whatever you want to do. So yeah, but that's it. All right, thanks everyone. I will see you on Thursday. And if I don't see you on Thursday, then that's okay too. Just email me and make sure you get your notes done, okay? All right, everyone, have a good day.